I've been getting a lot of questions about stories and how to tell them and what content to use. And I get a lot of emails about, I don't feel like the stories that I tell have real power in them. And there's two things about responding to an interview question. I know a lot of you, you have, actually, I'm trying to think if any of you don't, but you should have the interview intervention book. If you don't have it, get it. It's free and it's $7 shipping and handling, and you get the ebook and the audiobook. I know a lot of the boot campers have it. The interview intervention course people have it. So in that book, in one of the chapters there, it's called Storytelling. It teaches you how to tell a story. There's a prescription to that. I'm not actually going to go into that in this session, but there's how you tell your stories. But what a lot of people, I think, suffer from is not having stories that are worthy of telling because they're not highlighting the impacts that they're having at their employer or for their customers or whatever. So while you may be doing great stuff, you're not choosing the stories that highlight the greatest impact that you've had, or you haven't connected the dots for the employer of how you've made an impact. So now remember, we just got done talking about multiple candidates. A lot of those candidates are qualified just like you are. So you need a leg up. You need to get leverage on them by knowing where the gaps are and making sure you can highlight how you don't have those. Knowing where their strengths are, making sure you can show how you have those. But when it comes down to the stories, if your stories are richer in color and in impact, you're going to win out. You're going to win out. So you got the interview intervention book that teaches you how to tell the stories. If you got the interview intervention course or you got the boot camp, we've talked at length about this. But if you focus just on the prescription or the story or the formula, you're not going to win it. You need to make sure that you're using subject matter that's incredibly strong. So there are kind of, depending on how you want to count, I broke it into threes. Really, it could be 5 or 6 or 8 of these. But here's the way that I would look at it. And these are the stories that I would look for in my past. And here's some... Okay, wait. This is revenue. This is marketing. This is happy customers. These are all kind of similar in many regards. But if you have stories related to how you sold anything, or how you developed something that was sold, or how you facilitated a sale, or how you got a lead, or how you supported a sale, or anything that you did that increased your company's brand awareness in the market. If you're on the marketing team, that's great. If you're not on the marketing team, are you doing anything that increases your company's brand awareness? Are you the technologist who's improving the SEO, which is bringing more traffic? Are you an inside salesperson who's gathering leads? Are you a support engineer that's going on sales calls with the business development executives or account execs and you're supporting the sale? Stories where you contribute to the overall outcome as it relates to generating revenue or market awareness or securing new customers or keeping them happy. Are you on the support desk or whatever it might be? Those stories are gold. So all of those stories show that you know and can contribute to the top line revenue generation for the company. Those are always good. Any of those, and trust me when I tell you that 90% of you work in a capacity where you do something to contribute to that. It's just a matter of making sure that you understand how it fits in the overall scheme of things. So that's the first one. I hope you liked my artwork there. The second one, it's just as good. Anytime you do anything that decreases cost. So anything. Did you find a hole somewhere that you plugged? Did you find something that you fixed that made decisions smarter that saved money? Did you save time? And this is maybe bleed into the next one, but did you build something where you reduced the number of handoffs, touch points, steps that I needed to take while that's kind of getting into process optimization, but that also reduces cost. So there's, are you in the travel department and are you looking for better rates from different vendors that you're using? Whatever it might be. But the second great grouping is cost reduction. And then the third one, as I was alluding to it, this is my attempt at flow diagramming. But any process that you optimize that makes anybody's life easier. Is it better data aggregation? Is it fewer steps in the process? Did you shrink the amount of time it took to do something? Did you make did you develop inputs that shrunk different sections of a process? Anything that you do, did you build a solution, technological solution that took away manual processes? Whatever. I mean, that's a double whammy. That could be a triple whammy depending on what the software was that you implemented. So think in those terms. Think in sales / marketing / customer service or happiness or securing or whatever. Think in terms of cost reduction and think in terms of process optimization. And trust me when I tell you, you can all get, and you can start getting into employee happiness and some of these other things that I think are awesome as well. These are not the only three, but these tend to be the ones that make employers' eyes light up and stretch their ears because they love hearing about this stuff. And I can tell you this, I guarantee you've got stories that relate to these. You just might not have thought about it in these terms, but the trick is when you think about how you want to tell your story, when you get to tell me about a time when, or hey, tell me about that project. So you want to think in terms of highlighting how what you do help, even if you don't have the specific numbers. Even if you don't have the specific numbers. You could be a support engineer and say, I went on 100 sales calls in the last 3 years. We won 20 of them. And now, that may be a great ratio, that may be a terrible ratio, but I did this that supported that allowed us to win 20% of the deals. And what's really nice about that is before I was the support engineer on all of those deals, our win rate was only 10%. And the salesperson was the same, but I was able to show, and we revamped the demo that I was going to do and the sandbox that I built to show the customer something that immediately doubled our win rate. That's victory. So that's the kind of stuff that you want to articulate. And you didn't say anything about dollars. You didn't say, hey, I made us $1 million. No, but you could say with that book of business, it was $1 million, then it was $2 million or whatever. But that's power. That's showing how there's a direct correlation to what you did and what you contributed. My point to this is you will have to look. You all are coming at this from different places. But I want you to think first about kind of these 3 or 4 big buckets I'm giving you. And if you're in different positions that really don't apply, maybe you're in HR, are you building career development models that are making your customers are your employees? Are they happier? Are they getting promoted more frequently or just a larger percentage? Is your turnover rate going down? Is just whatever it is. Turnover rate goes down when you're the HR person because you're putting policies and procedures in place and programs in place. That saves you money. It saves you money on not having to train new people that you got to bring in to replace the people. You don't have to pay recruiting costs, even whether they're internal or external or whatever. So you got to think in those terms. Think in those terms.